Hey, everybody, it is Chris Brown, your real estate professional and marketing entrepreneur, and welcome to another episode of State of the Real Estate Market with Chris Brown. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a channel where we talk about buying, selling, and investing in real estate. Not only do we talk about those topics, but we also talk about entrepreneurship and building generational wealth. That seems to be a big topic. And if you guys are interested in building generational wealth, be sure to hang on to the end of this video, because I'm going to give you some information on a free boot camp that is going to be done in the month of April on building generational wealth with real estate. So you want to make sure that you get that information and join that boot camp. It will be a virtual boot camp, and it is free. Once again, free. Free. So for those who are out there, if you are watching this and seeing this, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. We are encouraged to promote information of valuable information that will help those who are, like I said, buying, selling, or investing in real estate, different topics that we'll have. And be sure to subscribe, so as new events or new topics are discussed, you'll get those alerts automatically and you won't be kept out of the loop. A lot of this information is free and it's valuable. So, hey, go ahead, tune in. We want to make sure that you get those details. But we do have a topic for today. We want to make sure that everyone that is involved, that you guys get this information. It's basically the outlook of the real estate market once COVID-19 is done. You know, what should we expect once the COVID-19 is complete and basically just done? You know, what do we anticipate? What do we think is going to happen? And what are we going to do that's different? So let's get you guys in the loop of what is going on, and so that you guys can stay abreast of the different activities that you guys should expect in these upcoming months to years and so forth along those lines. Let's get you guys up to date. Here we go. Right. So, hey, like I said, the topic is the outlook of real estate once COVID-19 is done. So let's go ahead and get this started. And once again, my name is Chris Brown, your real estate professional and marketing entrepreneur, bringing you these great details and fine information. All right, so when will the normal return? I've been getting this question a lot lately, saying, hey, when are we going to return back to normal, Chris? It's been a while. It's been over a year now that we've had these COVID-19 protocols, and what should we expect? Well, going back to a norm, if you haven't quite caught on yet, there's going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be a number of different changes moving down the pipeline. I don't call it the norm, I'll call it the new norm. So the new norm is what you should anticipate moving forward, and it won't be so much going back to the normal. So if you're waiting for everything to go back to what it was prior to COVID-19, you're probably going to be waiting for an absorbent amount of time. So be sure to be flexible. That's what I can say. So there being no more COVID-19, as you guys, by the time of this recording, the COVID-19 shots are being dispersed to the lower ages now. There's still a couple of brackets that are still open, and people are moving forward with that. I've actually spoken with a number of people who've gotten either the two-step process, or they've gotten a one-step. You know, there's been mixed reviews, you know, if they're feeling different, or what the vaccine is doing to their body. Yeah, I'm sure it's doing something. Obviously, that's the purpose of it. It's going to be doing a little bit of something, but the key is for it to just do something for like a day or so, from my understanding. Personally, I am still waiting for my slot to open up on my appointment to be lined up for me, rather. And so I can be a part of this great COVID-19. So, but today I want to discuss with you 5 hints for the new real estate future. These are 5 things that you guys are going to have to embrace if you're in the process, especially my sellers right now, if you're in the process of selling your home and you're going, you want to go the traditional route of selling your home, or if you're buying a home, there's going to be some changes. And what you've probably learned over literally the past few years, it's going to have some changes to it. So even if you educate yourself, like I said, COVID's been going on for a year now, there's still changes coming down the pipeline. So a big change is going to be financing. Prior to COVID-19, interest rates were considered to be low. And now that we are a year into COVID-19 and looking closer towards the end, financing, the interest rates right now are so low. So I would anticipate that, say a year from now, definitely a year from now, I'm really anticipating that the interest rates will be higher than what they are now, just because there's some type of balance in the real estate market that the interest rates are going to have to change. They're low. Will they remain low? Will they jump high? I'm not 100% on that, but that's one of the big hints I wanted to share with you guys. Is financing is definitely going to be changing. It's a big opportunity right now for those who are refinancing. If you have a home and you may have purchased it, say 5 years ago, maybe even less than that, the interest rates were a little bit higher. And it may be advantageous for you to actually refinance your home. You'll get a lower payment, and you may be able to have some benefits in there. If you're buying a home, you can probably buy more home now than you were able to, say, over a year ago. And the reason being is because the interest rates are low. So that's it's a benefit for buyers right now. That's why, a lot of people are looking to buy right now, and the demand is high to buy. But obviously at the time of this video, the inventory is very low. So it's not there's not a lot of options that are out there for people to actually purchase their home. So, and if you are selling a home with the market the way that it is, you can really anticipate that there be not many options out there. So if you sell your home, you probably get the most money that you'll probably get for your home if you were to sell your home now. But the question is, where are you going to move to? So where are you going to move to, especially if it's not like to another, even if it is to another state, you're having issues in trying to find a home somewhere else. So that's been the balance. People can sell their homes, get the most they can for their homes, but where are they going to move to? Especially if you're in a family, you can't just rent an apartment or if, you can't just, live in a hotel or something along those lines. You really have to have things in order. And that's part of the norm right now, the new norm. So if you sell, you got to be able to buy as well. So a big one, and this isn't so much new, at least for me, it's not new since I work in the industry a lot, is that curbside closings. So with the whole COVID-19, a lot of people, social distancing, curbside closings are starting to be a big norm. So it's kind of like when you pull up to Walmart and you've ordered your groceries online, you pull up to a slot and it has a sign there and it says, lot number 5 or something like that. That's what people are doing at closings these days. They're pulling up into the parking lot and each spot is labeled and they're calling to the title company saying, hey, I'm here for my 2 or 3 o'clock closing. I actually am in lot number 15 in a Tahoe truck. That is some of the new norm. You're seeing that a lot more often now, where people are just pulling up and they're just doing the closings from their car, where the title professional is coming out with the package and they're sitting down and they're actually walking out to the vehicle saying, hey, here's your package here. It's been labeled where you need to sign. That's the new normal. Remote closings have been around for a while. I've actually leveraged remote closings with a number of my clients. I have clients that are not from the state, and they need to, instead of them flying all the way down, if we have everything verified ahead of time, then we're able to set up a remote closing where we can have a remote closer go to them and actually close the deal. mail away closings where they're mailing a package. Usually it takes an extra day or two in there because you have to verify the information, because a number of these companies are wanting a wet signature. So mortgage lenders are wanting a wet signature. So you may do a mail away. So, and that's something I've always been doing. They say that this is the new norm, but it's the new norm for some people, but it's been in the industry for a number of years. So it's something I've utilized a number of times. Conference calls. So I find myself doing conference calls with my clients because they may be in a closing doing one of these curbside closings, and I'm not in the car with them, obviously. And they may be calling me saying, hey, we're at the closing, there's a question, maybe a question on the document. Obviously, the title professional is there, but when someone is selling their home, they may have questions. You build a rapport. At least I build a rapport with my clients. So they'll ask the title professional, and then they'll give me a call if I'm familiar with it or not. So I find myself on conference calls throughout this process. So that's number two there. So that's definitely going to be the new norm. So if you're in the process of buying or selling a home, anticipate something to be of the unnorm when you have to do the closing. And then I kind of hinted to it with mortgage lenders right now. Lending criteria is kind of shifting. During COVID, the criteria really was tightened. It was really tightened. I think at one point that you couldn't get a loan unless your minimum mid score was a 680. And at one point, prior to COVID, you can get loans with the 560, 580 credit score. Obviously you won't have all the great benefits if your score is that low, but that was some of the things that were happening with lending. So a lot of people weren't able to purchase a home, but they were working on their credit to get the higher score. So obviously when COVID stopped, or not so much stopped, when they took some of the restraints off of COVID itself, people were in a position where it's just like, hey, I've been working on my credit. My credit's back to where it needs to be. I'm ready to buy a home. And then lenders were actually reducing or loosening up on the criteria. Now that was creating a big influx of buyers that were waiting, two, that were working on their credit to improve their scores. Now that's why we have so many buyers right now. And for other reasons as well. That's just one or two of the multiple reasons why there's so many buyers right now. Credit scores, as I just mentioned, and then verification of employment. There previously was some flexibility, and then there wasn't as much flexibility with verification of employment. Like, for instance, I had a client, they had a full-time job, making good money. And when COVID hit, their primary job, it's interesting because they had a full-time job and a part-time job. Their full-time job reduced their hours that they had. And then their part-time job actually increased their hours. So they had no loss in income, but because of the mortgage lending criteria, they found it as being a risk and they wouldn't approve them. So there's going to be so many changes, and there's going to be continuous changes. So as I tell people, if you're in the business of I tell my sellers, if we're selling a home and we're looking at a buyer, it's important for me to do my due diligence. And I do that for my clients on a regular basis, just trying to figure out what are the best options for them when we're looking at different offers that we're receiving, because we're receiving multiple offers at this time on contracts. So, all right. And then open house. So open houses right now, it's completely different. In the past, there were some sellers that always wanted open house, because it's always been a tradition to do an open house. And they felt that it really helped give the exposure. Well, when you do an open house, you have people that come to the house because they're interested. Then you have people that come to the house and literally they have nothing to do on a Saturday or a weekend, Saturday or Sunday, and they're just looking at homes. Then you also have people that are curious what homes are out there and what features that are out there, because they see themselves buying a home in the next year. So you had these different buckets of people that were visiting, basically strangers, coming into the home, looking at the home, and just walking around, touching, feeling, and all that great stuff. Now, it's like, okay, do you do an open house because of the COVID-19 protocols? Then it's like, okay, do you sell your house when you're actually still living in it, or do you vacate your house and leave it vacant while you're going through the selling process? It's a lot to balance, and it's a lot to take on, especially if you still have your family. The open houses can sometimes be inconvenient, but now it's going to be probably more of a structured process where there's going to be only certain times where you'll be able to view a home. Obviously, that kind of reduces the exposure of your home. But in the market right now that we have, many of the buyers are being flexible. They're not just saying, hey, I'm only available during these times. It's like, no, if you want this house, you're going to have to come during these times. So we can do that right now. So as it shifts from a seller's market into less of a seller's market to possibly to a buyer's market, we don't know when, but those guys, that flexibility with open house may or may not change. COVID-19 guidelines, having people wear masks if it's required by the homeowner, and to have or not to have. It's the decision, depends on which real estate professional you're working with and what guidelines and what marketing ideas that they may have in line to work with open house. That's a big key, especially if you're in the process of selling your home. Keep that in mind. All right, and this is one of the last ones here. This is number 5. Number 5 is technology is changing. So with the process of selling a home these days, there's so many extra things that I do as a real estate professional. As I'm selling homes for my clients, I'm doing extra things to help their home get exposure. One being, and I'll always preach this, I don't take pictures myself. I hire a professional photographer. Not only do I hire a photographer, hiring a videographer, then I'm also hiring, making sure that we're getting virtual tours done, making sure that we're getting 3D options taken care of. If it's an empty home, then we may be doing virtual furniture, virtual staging, as they call it. So there's so many different things that I do now that to help my clients. So a lot of people are saying, oh, the real estate market is hot. It's hot, but at the same time, it's more work as well. So the value as a real estate professional being involved has increased abundantly during these times. So always keep that in mind. Technology here, photos, videos, it's all about the visual these days, and obviously getting them to the home and making sure that the home is intact. So as I'm always telling people that, hey, who is helping you with your largest investment? Your largest investment is typically going to be your home. If you are interested in getting a free evaluation of your home, it is a desktop evaluation. Be sure to check out showmyhomeestimate.com. That is a website that you can take a look at and get a general home evaluation in about 2 minutes. Doesn't take long at all. But if you are in the Tampa Bay area and you are not working with a real estate professional, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me on the website. It's just realestatewithchrisbrown.com. Be more than happy to help you out and helping you get the values of your home. Because thinking about selling in this market, you really got to think a little different these days, because the process is not the same norm. It is a new norm. So keep that in mind. And as I had mentioned, for those who are looking to build generational wealth, in this video, in the links below, you should see a link to an event that is coming up April 29th. Save the date, be sure. Real Estate Gold Diggers. It is a 30-day challenge that we're going to begin on April 29th, and it is free. Did you guys hear me? It is free. Generational wealth hack on building wealth with real estate, and that will be presented by myself, yours truly. And I'll show you a couple of things that I've learned, done, and what I do to help some of my clients that are looking to build generational wealth. It's April 29th. Be sure to check that out. And for those who are a little bit more social than the others, be sure to follow me on social media. I do have a handle that is at Chris Brown RE Pro. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, possibly a few other places as well. Be sure to check it out. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel. We're going to keep growing this channel, keep adding new content that is of value, and make sure that you guys are learning something. If is something on here that you like, be sure to like the button. If you feel that this information could be helpful to someone else, share this information with someone else, keeping them abreast in what's going on in the real estate market today. As always, this is Chris Brown, your real estate professional and marketing entrepreneur. If you are buying, selling, or investing in real estate, be sure to check out realestatewithchrisbrown.com. Guys, take care. It's great seeing you again.